Welcome once again to the Ben Smith Coaches Show here on the BCHS Bear Network. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey. All of our programs are available on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as Twitter. We always like to start our programs by having the coach introduce the special guest, and it's not a new person. It's a repeat from way back early in the wrestling season.
Yeah, so I guess I'm developing some timers, as Coach Jackson calls it, because I could have sworn that Luke was one of my few captains that I hadn't had on. I was kind of doing inventory. I'm like, I think I was going to get him one day, and I didn't. And nonetheless, I mean,
Glad to have him
I
back.
guess you two are right, but we've got our number one ranked 145-pound and 2A returning state runner-up, and also team captain Luke Belcher. So he's back with us today.
Sure glad to have him.
Yeah.
And your aspirations right now are to win that championship this year, right?
Yes,
At
sir.
145. Did you wrestle at 145 last year?
I wrestled 38 last year.
138, so you moved one weight class in.
Yep.
And right now, you're between, well, we're going to talk about what all you've done, but state's coming up, so what do you have to do, you know, to maintain that 145?
On just as far as weight goes, just got to be smart with what I eat and just keep working out. I mean,
Forget the little Debbies.
yeah, gotta be eating smart. You know, meal prep a little bit, and then just be smart about what you do.
What do you do physically? I mean, do you lift weights at this time of year, or?
I'm not trying to go too heavy right now. I'm more just trying to get back into it and get my muscles going.
Let's talk about what happened to you though. You broke your nose several weeks ago.
Yeah.
You've been out for weeks on end.
Yeah.
So do you lose your body tone, or do you lose?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm just trying to I would like to get my strength back to full where it was, but it's I can't really break it. I don't really want to break them down too bad right now because I just got a big state this weekend, so just trying to get slowly get back into it and lift a little bit, not too much.
And you had the broken nose that was suffered in maybe in a match, but
Yeah,
practice didn't help it.
yeah, yeah.
It wasn't just fractured; it was broken.
Yeah, it was broken pretty bad, but
Well, Coach, since our last program, kid has caught up on what all transpired. With
Sure.
a lot of things. And
Sure.
You're a busy man this time of year.
Yeah, we're busy. I just, like I said, I pride ourselves on how many kids that we were able to keep out in this program, because that's opportunities of kids, for kids to stay out of trouble and kids to have something to do. And I'm really proud of that. But to do that, like I said, man, we're so many different places at so many different times. And, just to back up, Luke's being modest. I mean, he broke his nose at the Bradley Invitational, and then it got refractured in practice, and it was a prominent, if this was 1998 and Vicki A. Smith was still around, she probably would have had, I would have had a hard time telling her no on getting that thing fixed. So he actually had surgery, corrective surgery. And so he didn't just have it broke, but he had it broke and realigned. And matter of fact, we wrestled at the sectional on Saturday, which we'll get to in a minute, but that was his first contact since the moment that his nose got broke in practice.
Did
by
you
Tiger.
feel that? I mean,
yeah.
get after and say, "Oh man, I don't
Yeah.
know."
Yeah, well, and in that match, he that was literally the first contact that he's had, because we've had to, it was a corrective surgery. It wasn't like, hey, let's just realign your nose. Hey, it looks good. Went to an ENT surgeon, specialist, and so we had to follow a strict re-entry process. But that was his first contact, and it was against a two-time state medalist. And that was a tough match that we called on him for. Not many people could have. I know he's upset at himself. He was mad. He gets a little pouty. He's a little pouty after the match, but. He beat a tough kid. And Luke himself is only a one-time state medalist. Now he's a state finalist, but that kid's tough. And but anyways, so Luke's being modest, but he got some love handles while he was out a little bit. But we're trying to get those down. But so what have we done since? So I think the last time we talked, we wrestled the region duels on that subsequent Thursday, and we wrestled Walker Valley. I don't remember the score. We did what we were supposed to do. I think we only lost a match or two compared to what I think we lost a match that I wasn't expecting. And then we got to rematch Cleveland in the finals, and we started at a really good weight class. We ended up winning 5 matches out of the 14. We lost 2 or 3 close ones again. Luke was out. He was not cleared until that Saturday. And we gained some ground on him. It ended up being 42-23. You know, we really wrestle well. I gauge my kids on effort. We lost in some spots that weren't effort. It was, you know, they beat us. Let's give them their credit in those spots there. But we're learning, you know. Like, those were matches that we can actually win these matches, you know. So, you know, anyways, so that put us in region runner-up status. So that caused us to have to travel on Saturday to wrestle Region 4 champion, which was Blackman. And so we traveled there, and we had senior night here on Friday. We wrestled Walker Valley again. It was a reschedule. Beat them 77-6. Retired Steve Logston singlet. Honored him for the Hall of Fame. Graduated 15 seniors. You know, 12 boys, 1 girl, 2 managers. Now only 4 of those start, so don't get too excited about us dropping off too much and out there in TV land. We'll be just fine. But then on Saturday, we hosted a JV end of the year tournament here. My daughter turned 2 on Saturday, so I had to give her a shout out. That's
Dottie.
That's Dottie. She turned 2. But then we traveled up to Blackman and wrestled them that night. And I don't remember the score, but I know that we had it out of reach 4 matches from the end. So we wrestled 1 more match just to make sure our Bradley County math was correct, and then it was kind of a hostile environment, so we. I wanted to make sure I didn't get ejected, and my assistants didn't say anything that would get me ejected, and so it was kind of the official and I don't really get along. Particular official and I don't get along, and I think he was looking for a reason to get us out of there, and so we did our job, and we took it to the house.
And Blackman probably thinking, hey, we won the region. They were runner-up, so we got a shot at beating the Bears.
You know, I mean, they've got to, but we're still Bradley. I don't care what anybody says. You know, I mean, Cleveland may be winning the last 3 or 4 state titles, but we still have a presence across the state in the wrestling community. Like, we're not a stepping stone for anyone. We're still Bradley Central High School, and we still have 26 state titles, and we're still in top 3, top 2 year in and year out. And Blackman, you know, Blackman has never beaten us. And you know, and they're a great program. They've been building solid for 20 years. But we'd already beaten them earlier in the year, and I don't think our guys are scared of Blackman. You know, and they've got some good kids, but like that's just a program right now that we don't lose to. We don't feel like we're supposed to lose to.
Right.
So, but I mean, you know, I think that they were excited to have us, but nobody wants to draw Bradley first round.
And wrestling is a mental sport in a lot of ways.
That's right.
And like with Luke, you're out there, buddy. You can't tap out.
Yeah.
Come take, you know, any tag team match.
Yeah.
It's you against the world out there in that
Yeah.
big spotlight. And is that a grind? I mean,
it's definitely a grind. I'd say for sure. I mean, just gotta. It's all you out there on the mat. Just one other guy.
and there's so much mentally involved in that. And I've seen you guys. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. But Coach, what you got coming up? When's it going to happen? Where's it going to happen? All that good stuff.
Yeah, so we've just been practicing and recovering this week, you know, and kind of fine tuning. We leave tomorrow at 11. We're going to practice one more time in the morning, just to kind of fine tune, and we're going to leave here around 11 a.m. Eastern time, and kind of beat the traffic, get up there and get safe, make sure we don't have any bus troubles, Dr. Cash, and. We're going to practice with our private school buddies, Father Ryan, at 3:15 tomorrow, and just get that last little bit of weight off. And we're going to have, you know, a good afternoon and a good evening of, you know, just kind of going over the details of what is ahead of us, you know. And we've got an 8-team bracket, so we're guaranteed. I mean, you know, the sectionals is the first round state tournament. You know, it went from a 16 team to an 8-team, so. We're basically in the quarterfinals of the state tournament right now. We drew Summit first round, Pete Miller's team out of Spring Hill.
You know anything about them?
I do. I know that we beat them. We beat them at the Cleveland Duels. They're a good team. They've got some good kids where we've got good kids, and I think our good kids are better than theirs. And I think we lost a few matches to them last time that I don't think we were wrestling real well at the time. And maybe they were. I don't know. I mean, they were hot. Again, they're kind of like Blackman. They want to beat Bradley. They've never beaten Bradley. And they're not a new school, but they've been around for 15, 20 years or so. And Pete does a great job up there. But I can't. And Luke will tell you, I'm super simple and I'm not real smart. I don't over.
We know that.
Yeah, my wife would tell you the same thing.
We love you guys.
I don't overcomplicate things, and the more that I look at it, the more I just don't see Like if we just do your job, you know, and then if we win our match, we'll have hopefully a rematch with Wilson Central. Now Summit got third in the state last year. They're seeded. We're not because we lost our region and they won their region. So they're good. Don't get me wrong. But we'll have Wilson Central second round if we do what we're supposed to, and that's what we're looking for.
So you could how many times would you possibly wrestle Saturday?
3 times.
3 times? That's it.
3 times through the championship.
Yeah.
And then if we lose, it's 4 back to third. And they're actually, thank you, TSSAA, they're letting everybody wrestle back for third.
Okay.
Last year they didn't because of COVID and they couldn't fit it in and what, you know, hey, you just should be glad you had the state tournament. No, let's do it right if we're going to do it.
We're going to, you said you're going to wrestle Father Ryan just practice.
Yeah.
Do you take 4 teams out there? Are they getting ready to wrestle as well in the
Correct.
private school?
Yeah, so, you know.
It benefits both of you.
When.
That's a good program.
Yes, outside of Turner Jackson and Steve Logsdon and his dad, Brent Belcher, if there was anybody that I would have, if I couldn't wrestle for those 3, Pat Simpson would have been one of those guys, him and Steve Henry from Saudi Daisy. And Pat's one of those guys that when I took over 10, 11 years ago, man, he just reached out and we didn't really have a great relationship with private schools at the time, but Pat just reached out and, you know, and just helped me. A lot of people didn't want to work with Bradley. A lot of people didn't want to work with me because we're Bradley. And, man, Pat and I just kind of built a relationship together. And every time that we go up to Franklin, we practice with them over Christmas. They usually come back and practice with us. They won 25 state titles in wrestling. We've won 26. You know, there's a lot of similarities between our 2 programs, and it's just a friendship type thing. And it's we're not beating each other up the night before the state tournament. We're just going and fine tuning and just having some brotherhood. And then when we go back over for the individuals, Pat will run tomorrow's practice, and then I'll run one together with us for the traditional. So,
okay.
Yeah. So it's a cool. In 2016, when I won my first state title as a head coach, and I finally got out of Steve Logsdon's shadow, at least looked out of it for a second. Father Ryan won it. They won theirs right beside us. So we got to win them side by side together. Wow, so that was really cool. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, let me ask Luke in now. Saturday, do you know how early? Do you know what weight class we'll start with on Saturday? Will they draw that?
We'll know at weigh-ins. We'll know at weigh-ins.
Weigh-ins will be Saturday morning?
7:30, and then we wrestle at 9 o'clock, and those are Central Standard Times.
So you can wrestle as early as 9 or?
He could be the first man up. Like if they draw 145, Luke could be our first match, which I'm all about. I like having a captain lead. Yeah.
Well, after your first match, then it'll be 2 or 3 hours between matches till the next time you wrestle?
If we win, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
1 o'clock Central Standard Time.
So are you able to go, after you weigh in, you can go eat some energy bar or whatever, I guess, can't you, to provide you a little bit of,
well,
a little bit of energy.
A little bit of something. We'll give them something.
Oh, okay. But you got to control all that.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk a lot about control what you can control, and you can control your water intake and your food intake and this and that and other. I mean, like, you can easily undo a month's worth of conditioning in 10 minutes worth of eating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't want to tank it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my problem.
Gee, hey, round is a shape. Someone told me that before.
Round is a
You're in shape, Gio. I don't care what anybody says.
Saturday night, whatever, you know. I guess you got traditionals coming up, though.
Yeah.
Once that's over, you can go eat.
He'll weigh 170 pounds.
I'll get a good dinner going.
Yeah.
A few dinners.
He'll weigh 170 pounds come March. I promise you that.
Has any individual girls or boys, wrestlers that early in the year you didn't expect to get a whole lot out of them that said, dang, look what we got now. I don't want you to.
You know, I brag on, we have several guys. Like we had a lot of practice last week. And the week before and then last week. We've had more practice this month than we normally have in January. And I've seen some guys in practice really starting to turn the corner. And Wade Brooks is having some really good practices right now. Jalen Thomas, he's not quite got over the hump yet, but mentally he's turning the corner. Miguel Salinas Rincon, Gabby's brother, he's really turning the corner right now. Girl-wise, Miley Goodwin, yeah. Volleyball player, came out with Brooklyn. She's turning the corner. She is a first-year wrestler that might find herself on the podium at the state tournament. So,
really?
Yeah.
And when will the girls wrestle?
The girls, we missed out on the girls' qualification, so they won't be there this weekend. we're actually, Baylor is sending their girls down to practice with us today, so we're going to do some exhibition with them today. They'll wrestle next weekend
In traditionals.
in their regional, and then they'll have 2 weeks off until they wrestle in the state traditional. So our goal with them is to continue to build the program, and we want them at the state duels with Cleveland and Tullahoma next year. So.
Wow. Boy, there's a lot of promising youngsters there for you.
I feel like the future's bright.
Just get some coaching.
If I can, man, if you just
We're
get me,
kidding this guy.
if you just get me out of the way, I mean, Coach Blackman already thinks he's the head coach as it is. I got to reel him in sometimes, but if you can just get me out of the way, these guys might be able to do something.
Coach is good to have in your corner, though.
I got wonderful coaches. They're not coaches; they're my friends. I've got great friends. So
Friends first and coaches second.
that's right. Yeah.
Well, Coach, as always, thank you for being here today.
Thank you,
Luke,
ma'am.
Thank you, bud.
Thank
Good
you.
luck tomorrow or
Yeah.
Saturday. You're
Right.
going to tomorrow. Good luck over there Saturday in the state. Whole team. Bring back some trophies for us.
plan on it.
Have traditionals, and we'll talk again next week.
Sounds good, man. Thank you, bud.
It's been the Ben Smith Coach Show here on the Bear Network. I've been your host, Jerry Ownbey. We appreciate Mr. Troyer's broadcast class producing all these for us. Available to you on Twitter, Facebook, and as well as YouTube. Yeah, good thing. Till next time, God bless and go Bears.